welcome to my barn vlog. So I went ahead and I showed you my locker, put on my boots, and grabbed a treat for the horses. I already had given Ferris his treat for the day. Well, not for the day, but for the morning.
There you go.
Then I gave one to Max because he was looking cute as ever. I went ahead and I went over to say hi to Ferris, and he was getting a bit antsy because it was feeding time.
The ignorance.
So that's why he was swaying his head. He just does that. Then I did go out to see if the lower barn was moistened so we would have a nice ride. I went ahead and said hi to the cats. Can't remember their names because we have too many of them. This one's Hulk. So he is a sweetheart. I only remember him because he's really old. Then this is Kelly. She's so sweet. Then here's Albie. He is definitely a lover boy. He will come up to anybody. So here he was just, well, hanging out. He came up to say hi. Then I went over to see the other cat. Then I went back in, showed you guys some Rolex. Then we went over to Cinnamon and then Winnie. And Winnie actually bothered to look up for me. Then we did go ahead and go out back to see the Danny, who is our foal. I want to say he's about a year old. And then Cosmo was out there too because it's the pony field. So here's Cosmo saying hi. So Danny is the one with the fly mask, in case y'all were wondering. So they're both super duper sweet. Just for size comparison, Danny is actually bigger than Cosmo. So here's some more clips of me going out to see Danny and Cosmo. They were also getting a bit impatient as it's feeding time. So here was a bit of horse boops. So he was actually really happy today. And then here comes Cosmo. He's like, "Did you bring me food?" No, I didn't. But then Cosmo got a bit hateful towards Danny, just a little bit. But then I went up to the upper barn to see if it was wet out there too. Then I went to say hi to the horses. This is Teddy. Then we went to Phoebe. Then Lily. Then Shiner. Then there's a random pig. Then we went over to say hi to Venus. There are more horses on the other way. So here's Venus. And then we had Irons. But he was being a bit hateful because he was hungry. So there's just Irons being hateful. And then we went out, and there are the logs that we spray painted horseshoes on like 3 or 4 years ago. Then I went ahead and I walked down. I had to walk through the arena because it was freshly sprayed. And oh my gosh, when I tell you, it is so satisfying to walk through like that. Then I went and I looked at my old saddle to see if anyone's been using it. And I would assume someone has been since there's stirrups on it. And when I gave it to her, there were no stirrups. So I would assume someone's been using them, especially since it's moved spots like 5 times. Then I went to say hi to Ferris. Again, I got him out of his stall and all ready to groom. Then I did speed this up for you guys so you didn't have to sit here. I was just grooming him, making sure he was all brushed down. I did accidentally grab the wrong brush for this one. Instead of the cowboy brush, I just grabbed the third brush. I did cut out the part where I accidentally realized and went and grabbed it. Then here's me fly spraying him down. And I was doing both sides. I just cut that out. Then here's me actually doing the third brush again. Then I went ahead and went back and I changed the direction of my camera so I could hoof pick him. I only showed you guys me doing that one hoof, but all the hoofs were pretty clean and it was actually fairly easy to pick. Then I went ahead and started tacking him up. There's my saddle pad. Had to make sure I got it in the right spot. Then I put on the riser pad or bumper pad, whatever you want to call it. I did take a bit to go get the saddle, and I decided I was not going to get the breastplate because we were not jumping today, and I didn't feel like he needed it. Then I did go back and I gave him a treat once we were all done. And then this was me putting up his halter, and I did fall off during the ride, but that was not his fault, and I'm perfectly okay. He just spooked at a kid who flipped a toy car. Like one of those big carriage thingies that you walk around. But here's behind the ears clips for you guys. And yeah, bye. Hope you enjoyed the vlog.